Oh, yes, sir. Welcome to Under the Hood Sports. I'm your host with the most, Johnny Hill. Hey, man, if you don't know me, you really should know me. Hey, man, and I got a special guest right in front of me, man. And if you don't know her, you're really sleeping, man. She works at the University of Memphis. She's over a lot of the recruitment stuff over there, man. And she graduated from Austin P and did recruitment over there as well. Brianna Miranda. How you doing, Brianna?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I really can't complain at all. First of all, thank you for taking the time to sit down and really talk to me and really talk about your journey and how you really got to where you are right now.
Of course, of course.
Okay, this is March, of course, and this is in honor of Women's History Month, and I think it's also important really to give to shine the light on y'all because y'all really do a lot of stuff, especially in sports. I feel like a lot of times y'all do get overlooked, and I just really wanted to tell your story and really shine light and really show how you got to where you at, and really also give the next generation, hope and hope to see that if she got there, I can get there. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Okay,
Of
so
course.
let's go ahead dive in deep into it. Bree, like, what made you wanna be in sports? What made you wanna be like, "This is somewhere I want to be at"?
I think it started at a young age. I grew up around football. I like to say I'm a coach's kid. So my dad has been a coach and I've been around football all my life. That's all I know. Of course, when I was younger, I had a different career path and I wanted to be an anesthesiologist, which is completely different than football.
Yeah,
But as I got into college and I started taking courses like math courses in specific, I was like, this is not for me.
yeah,
Um, and like I'll be the first one to admit math is not my strong suit at all. And I've always like I played sports in college and I didn't see myself doing anything else. I was like, how can I connect sports, athletics, reaching student athletes, and just my passion for football? Like, how can I all connect it together? So I got into recruiting and I got into operations and stuff like that, just being around the sport. And I was like, okay, this is what I want to do because I knew like I had fun with it. It is a little stressful at times, but it's an adrenaline rush. So altogether, that's just like the package deal. I would say. So I was like, okay, this is what I want to do, and I'm doing it. And like I always say, I don't plan on stopping anytime soon.
for sure, and that's really is cool. What really made you wanna go the recruitment path, because there's a lot of paths, there's so many different opportunities in sports.
Yeah.
Like you said, operation, there are also sports journalism, what I do, and broadcasting. But what made you wanna say, "You know what, I wanna do recruitment." What made you wanna do that?
That's a good question. I think the biggest thing for me is seeing kids' dreams unfold. And I get to see that from beginning to end. So I get to see when we start recruiting them, whether that's a sophomore or junior in high school, till they get to their OB until they get here. So I get to see it from beginning to end, everything come to fruition, the joy that they see like on their signing day. Um, the mail, like every little thing that people don't really know about recruiting and the recruiting process, I get to see that. And then the happiest feeling is seeing them being successful at my current institution that I work at. And at the University of Memphis, we just came through a big recruiting cycle of all the transfers. So right now, seeing all the transfers in spring ball in full effect and their success, I think like transferring that to the field is just like the biggest joy that I get out of my job is seeing their success.
And that's truly is amazing, that really is, okay, let's go into your journey at Austin P. How was it there? Like, how was it? Like, because if I'm not mistaken, you was there, as a graduate assistant. How was it?
It was gritty. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It was tough. Being a GA, if anyone has been a GA, it's tough. You work long hours. You do a lot of dirty work. Like, it's tough. And I think you have to truly be made for it. That's truly what you want to do. And but I loved it. it was gritty and it's a lot of hard work, but there's so much like friendships that I made out of it, so much connections. And Austin P will always, I always say, it'll hold a special place in my heart, because that was my first like breakthrough into the industry.
Real. Mhm.
And it's a special place, it's a special program, but I loved it and I have nothing bad to say about it, no matter how hard it was. I love that place, and I don't think I can put in other words how it was besides it was a special place. It definitely was.
For sure, and of course, we all need them gritty times and the moments
Yep.
like that to help us become the person we are today. Let's talk about a little bit more about that. How much did Austin P like help you for the University of Memphis? You know what I'm saying? How much did that help you?
I would say it prepared me
Yeah,
for a lot of things that I wasn't prepared for.
for sure.
Um, Different situations I had to learn how to handle when I got here that I
Yeah,
didn't learn before. But then it also prepared me for things that I already knew that I was dealing with. And I think those hard moments that I dealt with at SMP and all those long hours and everything like that definitely prepared me for the bigger step that I took at the University of Memphis. So I'm definitely thankful now for those hard times,
yeah, yeah.
and all like the hard work and stuff like that. But I definitely think it prepared me for now and even the next step that I take. It definitely prepared me for all that.
Okay, for sure. Like we like I'm a reflector, right? Like I love thinking about like the good and the bad, you know what I'm saying? Because
Hmm.
it's it's like a coin, like heads or tails. Like it's
Yeah.
good times and there are gonna be some bad times. But what have been, let's not say a bad, let's say like a hardship. What have been a hard moment that you have faced in your young career so far?
I would say the biggest steep would be
Yeah, I like that steep. Like
yeah,
yeah,
being on academic probation,
yeah,
as a graduate assistant,
yeah.
um in grad school, and these are for all my grad transfers. If you watch, you got to maintain a 3.0 in grad school, um
Mm,
and there's no D's, C's, like that's not acceptable in grad school. So
right.
it in my second semester, I had a 2.3 GPA in grad school. And I think that was my lowest of low, because I was like, okay, not classes, working crazy hours, second guessing my career choice. Like I was just second guessing the entire picture. And I was like, maybe this is not made for me. So I had to do a lot of reflecting. I had to do a lot of self evaluation. Like, okay, if this is what I want to do, if this is how I know I'm going to take this career serious, I got to know how to like be more organized. I have to plan accordingly. I have to just take this more serious. So I had to I had to check myself. I had to
Yeah.
check myself, and I had to snap out of it. I got my classes together, because I said that next semester, if I didn't get it together, I would have been kicked out of school, and I would have lost everything. So it was like a make or break. It was an all or nothing thing. And that next semester, I got it together, and I did pass all my classes. But I would definitely say that was the lowest point. And it was one of those points that it was like a make or break. You either had to learn or you had to fail. You had no choice. So I definitely would say that was my lowest of low. And now I take that and I try to implement that and teach other, like the younger generation, not the younger generation, but the kids under me. Like, hey, like this is what you're not supposed to do. This is if you do this, this
Yeah,
is what's gonna happen. You know, I don't like to be like that old person that tells people like,
yeah,
those old people that
yeah,
be
yeah,
like,
yeah,
you need to not do this. I'm just use me as an example and tell them like, this is what I did. I messed up.
yeah,
If you do this, this is what's gonna happen. So I would say that was my lowest of lows for sure.
for sure. I completely agree, especially that part when giving other people advice. You don't necessarily need to tell people what not to do. You just
Hmm.
doing what you did.
Yeah.
I completely agree on that part for real. I agree with that. Okay, let's talk about a good moment you had in your young career.
A good moment, I think the best moment was probably winning conference. I think I got my first ring ever. And I think that was like the happiest moment. Because it's like you seen all your recruits that started playing, you seen like your that was my first recruiting class. My hard work, like game day operations, like everything just like hit me in that moment. And I was like, it's all like right here. Like everything that I worked for, like it's all right here. Especially like being like my first championship ring, my everything. I was just like, it's literally like in these like in it sounds so corny, but like in these diamond rings, like there's so much like memories and like success like in like just embedded into those diamonds in that ring. Especially since it was my first one. Like I would just like treasure that forever. So I feel like that ring is a materialistic item, but it holds so much more value and sentimental memories behind it. That's why I would say that the best time and the just seeing all that. Yeah.
For sure. And I agree, especially when getting them rings. With them rings, they always got a lot of great memories, especially when you went when
Mhm.
you first one. It's always like
Yeah.
sentimental thing. Also, let's switch gears right quick. You can ever talk to your younger self, right? What advice would you give her about getting into sports?
Ooh, that's a good question. Oh, I would definitely say I would definitely say to be patient, and to trust the process.
Yeah, for sure.
Most definitely. Um, I think uh, everyone wants to, and this is all across the board, um, rush into something because you're afraid that you're not going to be successful because it's taking a long time.
Yeah,
But if you rush it, it's not going to be the outcome that you want.
sure.
Um, but if you're just patient, it's going to come together.
Yeah,
And if you just have faith in what you're doing and your plan and God's plan for you, there's no point to rush because it's all going to come together. So I would definitely tell my younger self, just be patient, relax, and it'll all come together.
facts, and it will.
Yeah.
Um, it's crazy. Like that's crazy. I had a conversation with one of my mentors before. He worked with Fox Sports and stuff. Like, and he know I'm young, and I be wanting it all right now. He like,
Right now, yeah.
yeah, he be like, man, to be honest, Johnny, you ain't gonna make $1 million overnight, man. Like it takes
Yeah.
time. It takes time to
Hmm.
get to that level. So like I completely agree, especially when you talk about patience. Like that's something for like all aspects of life. Like you gotta
Yeah.
you, we all can't be at the top right away. Like
Right away, yep.
it naturally
It takes
won't happen
time.
like that. So it takes time.
Mhm.
That's real. That's some real advice right there. Okay. Also, let's talk about this, right? When looking back, like especially on your career, right? When looking back on it, like what what moment will you say right now? Will you say like, man, like wait one second, let me pause. Let me pause. Let me let me
You're good.
let me read. Let me rethink about asking that question. Like I can ask that question a better way. Okay, when okay, I see. When looking at your career right now, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I would see myself at the next level, um, in the being on the professional level in the NFL. Um, Ultimately, being a chief of staff or being somewhere in the administrative side.
Yeah,
Um, but I love college football to death. But eventually, one day, I want to be a fan and a spectator, um, because I feel like being in this profession, you're constant like on the front line and you never can step back and just watch football. And of course, once you retire and all that, you can watch football all you want, but nothing is better than just like seeing it from a fan's point of view. So
yeah.
I think getting to that next level and watching college football, um, from a spectator and a fan's point of view, I think that's huge for me. So making it to that next level, I think well, not I think, I know it's gonna be my next step in my career and where I would want to be in the next 5 years.
For sure, for sure. Bree, I'm a person who loves talking about goals because that can probably be one of your goals right there. But I love talking about goals because I feel like if you don't have a goal, like where you going, because
Absolutely.
like a lot of times you just move around in a circle. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
With no direction. So, what would you say? Your three goals are.
Currently,
Yeah, currently. Wait, and we can just do like, yeah, current. We don't have to do too long term. Or if you want to, we can just do it. We can do whatever you want. You
yeah,
can do long term or a mixture, whichever one you want to
I
do.
make sure. Um, I know my biggest goal is to inspire. I can say that right off the bat. Is to inspire. And that's a lifetime goal for me. Is to inspire and to lead. And I think that ties hand in hand together.
That's
But that's my biggest and my lifetime goal is to lead and to inspire. Another one of my goals is to be more organized. I know that sounds small, but I feel like I live in constant, like,
chaos.
it's organized chaos. Somebody walks into a room and be like, dang, like she got her stuff together. Because sometimes they walk into my room, they're like, what's going on? So I don't want that. But we're working on it. We're working on it. So I want to live in less organized chaos and just like pure organization.
For sure.
That's another one of my goals. That seems small, like I said. Um, and then the third one, um, currently, I would just say to be the best version of myself in every aspect of life. Um, as a coworker, as a sibling, as a daughter, as just everything, and as a woman in sport in specific. Um, I think that's huge to me. Those are my like top three personal goals, I would say.
Sure. And that is Under the Hood Sports. Thank you, Bree, for coming on. I really do appreciate the conversation. Also, like I look forward to seeing everything that you're doing. Y'all had a great season at Memphis.
Absolutely.
Y'all only gonna get better from here. The recruitment class is gonna keep getting better, and much
It
success.
will.
Yeah, and much success to you, and it's
Mhm.
gonna keep shining. Well, I'm Johnny Hill. This is Bree, and we are out of here.